This is David Harkins. This is the Entrepreneur's Toolbox assignment for ENT 630 on CRM Technologies. What is CRM? Well, today CRM is an acronym for Customer Relationship Management. The acronym is typically used in a business or corporate environment and refers to the relationship between the company and its customers, or sometimes the prospective customers. CRM is most referenced in the marketing or sales functions, although its value is for the entire company. I think it's worth noting at this point that CRM used to be an acronym for customer relationship marketing. The idea was that the more information you gather about the customer, the greater the relationship, a greater relationship you could build with that customer and improve your marketing and sales. This is why I believe that the CRM function sits primarily within the marketing and sales organizations because of its roots there. Over time, businesses have learned the value of this information and how it can strengthen the relationship with the customer in a way that creates significant improvements in sales and performance for the company overall. And it now has been elevated to a greater level than just simply marketing or sales, hence is customer relationship management versus customer relationship marketing. There are similar acronyms that have to do with the various functions within an organization or even within a different industry. Some business functions have their own version of CRM. For example, there's VRM, which is Vendor Relationship Management, or PRM, which is Partner Relationship Management. And on the nonprofit side, there is a CRM function, but they're typically known as DRM, MRM, or SRM, meaning Donor Relationship Management, Member Relationship Management, and Sponsor Relationship Management, respectively. The difference here is with the information that is collected. The most important thing to remember here is that the relationship management portion is paramount, regardless of which word you put in front of it. The noun or the acronym simply suggests the market focus and the particular needs, values, and expectations of that market. That's what drives and dictates the data and information necessary to build a relationship. But the goal of that relationship and the strengthening of that relationship is unchanged regardless of who the target market is. CRM technologies then have a goal of improving customer relationships while reducing the cost of operations to the company. They typically fall into two different functions. Operational, which focuses on increasing efficiencies within the organization to identify best prospects, track the prospect activity, the movement through the buying cycle, and support after the sale engagement, ongoing customer service, and to identify and facilitate new sales built upon the customer needs, values, and expectations. There's also analytical technologies, which has a focus of gathering and reviewing and analyzing the data and information to better understand how to deliver on that customer NBEs to improve the engagement with those customers. Now, I want to put this in perspective. Back in the 20s, you might recall if you went to a corner grocer to buy product for your family for dinner, groceries for your family for dinner, you would go in and that grocer would know you because his market, it was very limited, and he may know that your family likes green beans, for example, and may say, hey, you know, I've got some great sale on green beans, and it will be great to make this green bean casserole for the holidays, and I've set some back for you. So the grocer had maybe 50, 60, 70 people that he's dealing with in the neighborhood, and he had a pretty good memory and some good notes in the back, and he's going to be able to maintain these relationships on his own. But as our market forces change, and as our selling technologies change with the online technologies and telephones and other things through the evolution of sales and marketing. The customers have many, many, many more customer interaction points. So it's impossible for a business or a nonprofit or others to understand and get a full picture of the customer and the customer's interactions without the use of these technologies. Operational CRM technologies have three functions generally. Sales automation, which is about managing contact interactions, nurturing leads, prospects, and this would include things like call logs and notes about a customer, any appointments, individual emails, product they're interested in, and maybe their estimated position in the sales pipeline and what the revenue of that sale might be. This may track initial sales as well as ongoing sales as you build and nurture the relationship with the client. There's marketing automation, which is about automating the aspects of marketing to aid moving the prospects through the buying cycle and or upselling existing, cross-selling existing customers based on information you gather about them. So here we have the idea of managing and tracking marketing campaigns, both online and offline, lead management, capturing inbound inquiries and automatically routing them based on the customer interest, and enabling a complete picture of customer engagement and interaction regardless of what the touch point is. So marketing automation collects all of those transactional activities that a customer engages and compares it with and adds to the sales automation component so that you have this huge database of interaction data with your customer. It may have sales data as well as contact and other information. So anyone who accesses that data can get a view of what's happening with that particular customer or prospect, which is where the service automation component comes in. So what service automation does is enable a higher level of customer service and consistent experience depending on customers' preferences. So sometimes those are things like FAQ centers online, listening to chat, listening to social media activity, customers complaining or calling out in social media channels for additional information, online chat, phone helplines, text messaging and emails and so forth. So if you were a customer service rep, you would be able to access the service automation aspect and be able to see the customer history and what they've engaged in and what they've purchased and which campaigns they've received and provide a higher level of service to them based on the information and your access as a customer service rep to that information. Examples of operational CRM technologies are Salesforce.com, Zoho CRM, Agile, HubSpot, Microsoft Dynamics, NetSuite CRM, Intercom, Infusionsoft, and Freshsales. There are many, many, many CRM tools, and they all have operational CRM tools, and they all have different price points and different functions and features based on where their root in the CRM where their roots are in CRM operational technologies. For example, Salesforce has its roots in sales automation. So it is very strong on the front end of sales automation, and it is building separate hubs and has built separate hubs for marketing and other customer service types of systems on the back end to enable that 360-degree view of the customer. But its strength is in sales automation and contact management. NetSuite has more of a CRM analytics function, for example. That's where their roots were as a company, and they've added on the front end sales automation and a little on the back end and customer automation, service automation to be able to provide a more well-rounded picture. What I think we find with these technologies, particularly in the operational space, is the older the company and the technology, the more likelihood they are rooted in sales automation, because most of the CRM technologies started in what used to be called Salesforce automation. Analytical CRM technologies typically help us do things in gaining a better perspective of the customer needs, values, and expectations by analyzing the data information within the database. So it's a different layer, a different way to access and view information, while the operational CRM technologies do provide some of analytic capabilities. They're generally not as robust as what would be a standalone, separate analytical technology, CRM technology. So what these technologies do is help us analyze customer interactions and engagement to give us a better picture of what the customer NVEs are, help us segment customers based on NVEs for marketing, sales, and profitability, help us analyze sales trends and performance, including customer and product territories, markets, to determine how and when we can improve sales and what message we take out into the market. We could use CRM technologies in the analytical space to look at service interactions for insights on product and service performance, and what could we do to improve there, as well as cross-sell and upsell opportunities. It provides, in many cases, these technologies provide multiple ways to view data. We can look at raw numbers, we can look at visualizations and what-ifs, we can look at straight-up reports, we can have dashboards, we can put in key performance indicators or other things to be able to measure and track and analyze the data that we have about customers and products and marketing campaigns and so forth. Selected CRM analytical CRM tools are Tableau, Sense, Kissmetrics, Looker, Yellowfin, and Izenda, all of which provide different levels of analytic capabilities based on what individual needs are. There are also ancillary tools for CRM, and again, some of the operational CRM tools provide some functions of these tools, but they're not as robust. So there are email marketing software tools which link to these operational tools and also to the analytical tools such as MailChimp, Constant Contact, SendGrid, Aweber. There's also purely marketing automation software such as Marketo, ActiveCampaign, Zarget, SmartLink, Marketing 360, which do landing pages as well as email campaigns and provide some other features and functions to be able to track and manage and measure performance of marketing campaigns. And then you have web analytics software. And that would be Adobe Analytics, Google Analytics, Foxmetrics, Core Metrics, and these are all focused on gaining and measuring customer interactions with the website, whether it be through transaction-based, such as buying products online, or downloading white papers or other sorts of perhaps loss leaders that you have out there to start customers in the buying process, or prospective customers in the buying process. Here are a few references and resources that I used in compiling this. Don Peppers and Martha Rogers wrote a book in '93 called The One-to-One Future, which is really the root of most of the CRM technologies that we have today. They set the framework and strategies for what we're encountering today. The premise was of this book was basically to use technology to manage customer relationships, and that would be to essentially create a detailed database of information about each customer, where it would make it easy to create sales, loyalty, and profits. The CRM technologies are the necessary component of making that one-to-one future, or that strong customer relationship, a possibility. This concludes the Entrepreneurial Toolbox assignment for CRM Technologies.